Lando Norris might have won, but I'm not celebrating no Trump supporter. Gross. I don't know that shaking his hand after a race makes him a Trump supporter. Somebody else said, I'm so happy for Lando winning, but I cannot excuse his comments about Trump. Crofty using Donald Trump as a pun as Lando took his first race win might be the worst piece of F1 commentary ever. Another person said, read the fucking room. Lando trumps Verstappen. Man, you just killed the moment. That's because when Lando crossed the line, Crofty said Lando trumped Verstappen.
But here at the checkered flag, Norris trumps Verstappen and wins the Miami Grand Prix.
Okay, are we really getting offended that Crofty used the word Trump? Can we grow up, please? Somebody else said, I am truly disgusted and disappointed he said this. It hits harder as a POC trans person. Oh, POC means person of colour. As a POC trans person who lives in America and during Trump's presidency, disappointed doesn't begin to describe how I feel. Lando's... Okay, pull the tampon out of your Jap's eye and come back down to reality. Lando Norris climbed out of his race car after a 2-hour-long race, and then this gigantic orange cheese ball rolled up to him and he shook his hand. Calm down. This is what I'm talking about when I say politics is for losers. You can't look at everything through a political lens, okay? Because some things are just funny. Donald Trump is a cheese ball who, okay, fair enough, the cheese ball... In a few months, the cheese ball may be the most powerful person in the world who has access to the nuclear launch codes, which then may end humanity. But wouldn't that be some poetic justice if a guy with the same skin complexion as fucking Liberace and who used to sell steaks on the internet and somehow bankrupted a casino, if that guy pushes a button and plunges us all into a nuclear fiery hellscape, isn't that exactly what we all fucking deserve? You would think a driver of his dinosaur status, talking about Fernando, would be able to avoid a driver without ramming into his teammate. I swear to Christ. What are they watching? I want to know what it looks like looking at the world through the perspective of Team LH. It must be an incredible experience. This level of delusion needs to be studied by scientists in a lab because it's a danger to humanity. These people are so far removed from reality. Like, imagine if you applied this level of delusion to a different subject matter. Like, if you showed footage of 9/11, something that's obvious what happened. If you showed 9/11 to a person like this, they'd say, well, you know, the World Trade Center clearly turned in on the plane. And you'd be like, no, that's so far away from what really happened, it's not even funny. Yes, obviously there are nuances, like with everything. Like the idea that 3 terrorists could hijack an entire plane with box cutters is clearly ridiculous. Yes, Larry Silverstein did insure the buildings like 3 weeks before it happens, and that is suspicious. Yes, there is still a debate going on whether or not jet fuel can melt steel, but those are nuances. The equivalent of what these people are doing, they're saying the planes didn't even hit the building. That's not even part of the argument. I know it's fun and interesting to get into conspiracy theories. I do it all the time, but you need a foundation of reality underneath you. Because if you have that foundation, if you are on the same planet, we can debate the nuances. We can talk about, you know, maybe if Lance Stroll wasn't such a fucking idiot, Fernando might have had room to give Lewis more space and there wouldn't have been a crash. We can talk about maybe it wasn't a great idea for the CIA to train Osama bin Laden and then just let him loose in the Middle East. We can talk about the fact that, okay, maybe it was just a lap 1, turn 1 racing incident. Maybe Building 7 was a controlled demolition. But what we can't do is look at the same piece of footage and say Fernando rammed into Lance Stroll. There are no buildings. There were no planes. It did not exist. Everything is a psyop and nothing is real. Well done.